moving on, he says, the PBS person asked him, what about the fact that this was originally supposed to go through Bismarck, North Dakota, which is a predominantly white neighborhood? And after Bismarck said, absolutely not, you're not putting a pipeline through our community and risking our water, then the pipeline was magically, 5 minutes later, moved through the Standing Rock Sioux tribe's land and potentially water. So he says, well, they certainly that didn't happen because of Energy Transfer Partners. We're vulnerable to these routings too. Yes, Energy Transfer Flowers is just an innocent flower in the wilderness. The Army Corps of Engineers weighs in heavily. They ask for input from all concerned. Lie. They get that input. Lie. And then they suggest to us what deviation in the route should be taken. Keep in mind, Energy Transfer, we're laying a pipeline to have minimal impact to all people concerned. Lie. And with great input from our government. So this route, it wasn't just something that Energy Transfer said, hey, let's build it here. Lie. This was after great consultation with the Army Corps of Engineers. Lie. The offering up for consultation while also the Standing Rock Sioux, which they didn't choose to do. Lie, 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 lie. So many lies here, it will take me a very long time to unpack it. So let me try. Number one, the Army Corps of Engineers weighs in heavily. They asked for input from all concerned. The Standing Rock Sioux tribe was not consulted by the Army Corps of Engineers nor Energy Transfer Partners. I mean, based on at this point, dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of people I spoke to on the ground, including leaders, not just activists, the Standing Rock Sioux tribe was not consulted. The Army Corps of Engineers unilaterally decided, let them build it here. And this whole thing, well, Energy Transfer Partners, our main goal is to impact as few people as possible. These companies do not care who the hell they impact. They care about billions and billions of dollars being made. It's the money, Lebowski. They don't care if they impact Native Americans, black people, maybe wealthy white people they care about because that's their base. They don't care. So it's not true. The Army Corps of Engineers did not ask for input from the Standing Rock Sioux tribe. Energy Transfer Partners did not ask for input from the Standing Rock Sioux tribe. They say, keep in mind, Energy Transfers, we're laying a pipeline to have minimal impact to all people concerned and with great input from our government. I just told you that's not true. They don't give a damn who they impact. So this route, it wasn't just something that Energy Transfer said, hey, let's build it here. Right, you originally said, let's build it through Bismarck. They said no. You're a racist. So then you said, oh, screw the Indians, screw the Native Americans. We'll just build it through there because that's the history of America. And this is called white privilege. It's not just environmental racism. It's white privilege. It's corporate privilege. And it's the government aiding and abetting this racism. It's not like the Army Corps of Engineers. Let's not give them credit. And by the way, it's not just the Army Corps of Engineers. Army Corps of Engineers works for the Department of Justice and President Obama. So it's not like the Army Corps of Engineers really studied this. No, they don't care about the Native Americans either. There's hundreds of years of history of them stealing the Native Americans' land. As the beautiful Sarah Lopez points out, colonialism too. They don't give a damn, the Army Corps of Engineers. Trust me, through the statements they've given me, which are a bunch of talking points and nonsense, I could tell you they don't give a damn. So they're saying, so this route, it wasn't just something that Energy Transfer said, hey, let's build it here. This was after great consultation with the Army Corps of Engineers. Well, the Army Corps says you didn't consult them that much. The offering up for consultation while also the Standing Rock Sioux, which they didn't choose to do. Yeah, so you think anyone's going to believe you that the Standing Rock Sioux tribe, whose land this is, when you offered them consultation on whether to build, they just said, no, we're good. You do what you want. We don't really want to talk. We're too busy. We're too busy, with our playing in our pits of money and playing in our pits of wealth. And we're too busy to discuss whether you should build an oil pipeline that's going to contaminate our water with you. So just go do what you want. We trust you. Anyone supposed to believe this nonsense? Yeah, we offered up consultation with the Standing Rock Sioux tribe, which they didn't choose to do. That might be the biggest lie of all of the lies I'm going through. I mean, it's kind of it's tough to expose. This is why journalists who tried to expose Donald Trump have a hard time, because when somebody lies literally every single sentence, I mean, your brain is in overdrive. And this guy's lying. Not that the PBS guy was going to challenge him on any of the lies, but he's lying almost every sentence, because that's how these people are programmed to operate. Oil companies, Wall Street bankers, pharmaceutical companies, big agriculture. They don't even think they're lying, because human behavior, I'm not a psychologist, but eventually when you keep on lying, repeat the lie, repeat the lie, repeat the lie, you just think it's the truth. So when he was asked about Energy Transfer Partners' subsidiary, Sunoco Logistics, their pipelines having over 200 oil spills in 6 years, this is what he said. By the way, that is a very, very conservative figure. Most, as we know, many, almost the majority of oil spills are not reported. They don't want to over report oil spills. So I don't know. Reuters apparently did this study that found Energy Transfer's subsidiary, Sunoco Logistics, has had over 200 oil spills in the last 6 years. I would very conservatively double that to 400, maybe 500. So he says, of course, well, I disagree with the statistic about Sunoco Logistics, but everybody should be concerned about that. But keep in mind, there's a difference here. This is a body of water. This is a pipe that's been designed specifically to fit into a bore underneath the riverbed. This is very thick wall pipe. It's brand new steel. So again, with the steel, this is the Superman of pipelines. It's rigid steel, so it will never, ever, ever leak. Get the hell out of here. So this is a pipe that's been designed specifically to fit into a bore underneath the riverbed. This is very thick wall pipe. It's brand new steel. And any reports they're talking about with Sunoco is a 100-plus-year-old company. And there's some very, very old pipe in our, goes on. Look, again, like I said, everybody should be concerned about spilling oil onto the ground or gasoline or on any hydrocarbon or any contaminant for that matter. Energy Transfer is doing the very best we can. We're complying with all the laws. No, you're not. All the rules. No, you're not. And we're over-designing. This pipeline is being built to safety standards that far exceed what the government requires us to do. And I just think the likelihood of a spill into Lake Oahe is just extremely remote. First of all, oh my God, this whole campaign, I've talked about the arrogance of the Democratic establishment, the arrogance of Hillary Clinton, the arrogance of this guy to put other people's lives in his hands, in his company's hands. Energy Transfer is doing the very best we can. The best you can is not good enough. It's not good enough. This is people's lives on the line, not to mention their cultural artifacts and lands. So you saying we're doing the best we can. Okay, so if you have a child, or if I have a child, you're going to put Angela Valdez, great friend of mine, she has kids. You're going to put your child's lives in an oil company's hands that, quote, are doing the very best they can to make sure there's not a spill? Are you kidding me? That's like putting your child's life, your Jewish child's life, in the hands of Hitler to take him to the movies. This is insanity, folks. Insanity. Energy Transfer is doing the very best we can. We're complying with all the laws. No, you've broken laws. You're on treaty land. You are literally paying off the police force to bash in the heads of protesters, to illegally strip search women, to break into people's cars and steal their camera equipment without a warrant, to withhold people's medicine from people you arrest, to arrest people without reading them their rights. I mean, I could go on. There's so many. This pipeline is being built to safety standards that far exceed what the government requires us to do. This is another lie. And I interviewed Josh Fox about this, not this most recent trip, the trip before that. This company has been hastily, quickly, recklessly building this pipeline 24 hours a day because they were told by investors, I want this pipeline done by December 1st and I want the oil flowing soon after. They are rushing to build this pipeline. So the chances of a spill are only expanded because of this type of rushing and speed and recklessness. So, number one, you telling me we're doing the best we can to avoid an oil spill? Not good enough. You telling me you've followed all the laws and regulations? No, you haven't. You've actually come out, as I've reported before, You just came out on November 11th saying, despite not having the final permits to drill under Lake Oahe from the Army Corps of Engineers, you're just going to do it anyway because, quote, you have no choice. You have no choice. So you're just going to drill anyway. So let me get this straight. The Army Corps of Engineers, which is federal, under Barack Obama, the president, tells you you cannot drill under Lake Oahe, which is the final thing they need to do to finish this pipeline. And because you're an oil company and operate with impunity, yet you hear of an oil company executive going to jail recently? I certainly haven't. Because of that, you have no choice. So screw them. We're going to do it anyway. If you didn't follow my reports in recent days, after the Army Corps came out and Obama came out earlier this week saying they delayed their timetable to make a decision on the final permit, saying they need more time, Energy Transfer Partners sued in federal court to try to get a federal judge to overrule them. The federal judge has not ruled on that yet. So they're doing the best they can. We're complying with all the laws. No, you're not. All the rules. No, you're not. And we're over-designing. I don't care about your talking point that you're over-designing. Steel pipelines could burst too. This pipeline is being built to safety standards that far exceed what the government requires us to do. I just told you they're recklessly and hastily building this pipeline, which only increases the chances of a spill. And I just think the likelihood of a spill into Lake Oahe is just extremely remote. So let me put my children's lives, let me put my grandparents' lives, let me put my brother's life, my sister's life, all the 20 million people that live very close to this river or downstream. Let's put their lives on the line because Kelsey Warren, a greedy man, a Republican, says, oh, I just think there's a very, very small likelihood of a spill is extremely remote. You don't have the right, Mr. Warren, to play God with other people's lives, not to mention their land. I know the only thing sacred to you is money, but land is sacred to these people. Their burial grounds where their ancestors are buried is sacred to these people. Hey, Kelsey, would you like it where your parents are buried or people close to you were buried? I'm very, very confident they're buried in very nice graveyards since you're worth $3.9 billion. Would you like it if I came in and built a pipeline through there? No, I don't think so. You'd be calling in the National Guard and asking your friend President Trump to hang these people by the guillotine. But when Native Americans complain, oh, those Native Americans, why don't they go back to their casinos? This is not just environmental racism. This is immorality that you see time and time again from Wall Street bankers, from pharmaceutical companies, from oil executives, from Republicans, and corporate Democrats.